now, in the next month and a half, we are going to have some major problems with the bank and the fiat dollar. And that's where it all comes back to, the fiat dollar. Like, I'll give you the best advice right now that I can tell anybody. Get every damn dollar you can afford to get out of your possession and buy physical, and I mean physical, not paper, physical silver and gold. America is not what it was supposed to be based on. I had the American dream when I was a kid. I thought, America, if you tried hard enough and everything, that you succeed and become anything you want to do anyway. That's what I was told. Reagan was shot as soon as he got into office because he was trying to break up the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is not the government. It's a private-owned thing with a cute name. You see how they put stuff right in front of you, but people don't know it. The end is near. All you have to do is watch what they do.
You know that 35% of all US dollars that have ever been printed were printed in the last 10 months.
When I started going down this path of trying to look for something to invest when I sold my business, I was looking for something with a high yield payback.
And they're showing this graph from it's Fred, and it's Economic Research, Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. 35% of all US dollars.
Then I ran across silver, which led me down a path to do some research, say it's probably the best thing to buy because the idea is buy low, sell high.
Dude, this is a huge warning sign to diversify out of the US dollar right now.
Which led me into being my own bank, which led me down the path of the importance of silver in US history. Once I went down those roads, I just felt that this was the smartest investment to make at the time and going to also be the most profitable, I think. Physical is the only way to go. The idea of physical, to have something attainable, something that is accountable. You want an asset that anyone will accept anywhere around the world. I can go anywhere, you can drop me out of a plane anywhere with silver and gold, and I could find somebody that would take it to feed me, or drive me into town, or murder me and leave me on the side of the road and take my silver and my gold. Everyone knows what it is anywhere you go. Look at Texas, they had the floods. Power was out, couldn't charge your electric car, plumbing was freezing. What would Bitcoin would have done for you? You couldn't spend it anywhere. All the credit card machines down, all the banks were down. You didn't have no way to charge your phone back up. So the physical aspect is one way that you can have independence. You can control your wealth, your banking, your finances, your future. As of right now, you've got weeks, maybe less than months to get yourself in position, or you're never going to be able to physically touch it. People won't buy it at $25 down. But there's a different game being played here. We're at the end of a fiat currency. We're at the end of the banking cycle. The silver that you're going to buy today is going to make up for anything that you're going to lose in the future. But you'll never be able to grab it at this price. I did not plan on going down this whole road. I was just looking for a good investment so I could retire. That's all I wanted. Savings accounts don't pay 7-8% like when I started this place, 24 years ago. There's none of that out there anymore. You have to figure out where to make money. I do not want to own my own business with the climate. Then let COVID happen. So I've done good for the last year by being my own bank, putting my money into silver and gold, and studying bonds and all that stuff. And with the tragedy of the banks and the bonds, and it's all tied together. I would think I was nuts buying this much silver if it wasn't for the fact that I caught on. It's global. It's not just the United States. It's everywhere. I have to see how things are connected and make my best decisions I can. And that's what I encourage everyone else to do. So what we have here on the table today is some constitutional silver, it's here and up here. And then we have just rounds, which are the same as bars in the sense of their bullion. And then we have actual legal tender American coins. There's an American eagle there. More rounds here. Like I said, the difference between the bullion and the coins, this is actual money. This actually has a dollar stamped face value. You'd be crazy to spend it for $1. Buffalo piece here, that's just bullion, so it's straight silver, just like a bar, whatever ounces it is. So that's a 5 ounce, this is a 10, and this is a 1 ounce. 5 of these would equal the same as this one here. So that's the bullion part of it. The dollar is failing because it's fiat. Fiat's paper. Fiat is a receipt, basically. There's nothing back into it, so nobody's put any real item behind it. It's just paper. Me and you are willing to exchange paper for work, and as long as people believe in the paper, it's worth something. Gold prices should go up if the dollar is being abused. That's why they pulled us off the gold standard, is because they couldn't abuse the dollar and print it into infinity.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets.
1933, after they pulled gold out of our system as money, they still said that our dollar was tied to gold. Before 1933, you used to be able to go in and take your $20 note and get an actual $20 gold piece back. One of the first things after I had sold my business and I was looking for an investment, I started understanding fiat currencies, which led me to the silver. You can't go through the history of the dollar or fiat in any country without seeing that they have a very short lifespan of 30, 40, 50 years. The US dollar becomes 50 years in service as of August of 2021. So it's lived its life expectancy. And every time a currency does, they have some kind of event to hide the fact that the currencies are changing. I predicted last March the banks were that close to falling apart. All the indicators were there to me that says they only have weeks or months if Deutsche's derivative blows up on them. Somehow, the only way to save the banking system would be to stop the flow of money. I mean, literally stop commerce. Everyone quit spending money, buying things, breathing. Everyone stopped breathing. So they used the COVID to cover up the velocity of money. That's what the lockdowns are all about. The banks needed to buy more time. They're not ready. Their digital currency's not set up. They're not that far technologically to have them ready to go. They're buying time. They needed to freeze or stop the velocity of money. Well, if you stop freezing giving people loans, you're going to show people that there's something wrong with your banking system. They don't want people to see the banking system. They always have something to blame. Well, the coronavirus isn't working out for them. It slowed down and bought them a little more time, and here we are a year later. But now I think the time's ticking. I think within a couple months, by the end of July or September, I look for silver to break loose of its stronghold, because the banks fix the price of silver and gold, because the price of silver and gold is the devaluation of the dollar, is a weakness of the dollar. And when oil went into the negatives a couple months back, it showed the weakness of the dollar. If they don't get this reset started and blame the coronavirus or blame a war or blame a hacker, I think the next one's going to be a hacker and a power outage. That's where they're going to go next, because they don't want the banking to be seen at fault. The banking system, which is teetering, ready to fall and crush everybody in this country, and they need this reset to be blamed on something else, or otherwise they can't start the same Ponzi scheme over. Nobody's going to do business with you. If I proved to you that I was a crook, would you ever do business with me again? No. But if I blame this invisible partner, stole the money out the back door, but you always thought I was a good guy, you'd be more than happy to do business with me again. I was a sucker of bad luck, just like you. That's what they're trying to do, is find anybody to blame it on, to wipe everything to where they could start their new system and not be held accountable. And people are going to hold them accountable this time. The Great Reset will be great for them because you'll lose everything and they will gain it all. The reset does not benefit you. You're not going to get to keep your house. They're not going to waive your credit card. They're going to foreclose, come after everybody, restart the set in a new currency, and they want to do it in such a way that you don't pay attention, and they'll be right back in charge all over again. And what they want to do in this is they want to start a new digital dollar. What's great about digital? There's nothing tied to it. Every transaction is going to be on there, which allows the governments to tax everything you do and know everything you buy. I don't know what you buy that you don't want people knowing, or it's none of their business, but the government will know it all. If you go to a digital currency, every homeless person you know now will die. They don't have cell phones. They don't have electricity. They're not going to be able to scrape a couple bucks together. So this thing of going cashless is real scary. And it's all because they want the digital control. They planned this decades ago for the currency to eventually crash and then take over. They're going to reset everything, and what are you going to have? Physical, you're going to carry forward. Your couch, your TV, you're going to own. Silver and gold, you're going to own outright. Put it in a private vault. Put it in a bullion vault company, or most people can't afford that much. Bury it in your backyard. Come out of the ground, it'll come back out of the ground. Can't bury paper, it rots. The constitutional silver, also known as junk silver, was in our money system up till 1964 when they pulled it out and started making the coins they make today. This is just an oddball. I brought this along. The weight of this one is totally more than this whole coin here. You can see the size difference. This is a $20 gold piece. This current is a Liberty, about $1,900 for just that one gold piece here. Versus the American Eagle, which right now is bringing $36 with premium over spot. When you see spot price, that's the actual sell price of the current market value, which I think is $26 today and some change. But the premium on that adds almost another $10. Being my own bank, could not wrap my mind around that for the longest time. Talked about the programming that the media and everybody puts out there. It took me a long time to realize what it was, and I kept playing with it. I just listened to the sound, because that's one way you tell if it's real or not, and I just kept playing with it and doing this for hours. But what this is a savings. That's all this is. It's a store of wealth. It's for your savings account. So if you have money in the bank and you're not going to use it, you buy this, you use it as storage. As I keep playing with the coins, and I'm starting to realize, being my own bank, this is what it means. When I need this, I can cash it in and go buy a house, a car, pay off debt, whatever I need to do. But right now, it's sitting there and it's not losing any value against the fiat currency. It's holding very well. The silver's up 38% over when I bought it 12 months ago. It is wealth. It's savings. It's a form of an asset that I hold. The miners that mined it, the energy that went into it, pressed into this, and then they gave up their work to make this. Then people build houses, buy cars. Me, I worked my life owning my own business and everything. And what did I learn? There's my store of work right there. 22 years worth of work is pretty much in these coins. The game went from monopoly to risk, and we're still sitting here playing it, and we can't figure out why we're not winning. We can't figure out why we're broke, the bank's broke, and everything else. If you play Monopoly by the rules, everyone learns what capitalism is, but nobody ever plays by the rules. And somehow the bank always ends up breaking before you finish the game, because you never put any money back in the bank. Every time we changed the rules any way we tried it, what's funny is we always noticed the first thing that would break is the bank. And we're seeing that now. They changed the rules of the game, and the bank is breaking. There's not enough money in the bank to continue playing the game. When is it going to change where we're going to be caring about how many ounces? If you have 10 ounces during this collapse, you have more money than 90% of the people that's going to have it. Americans don't own gold and silver. We've been taught, it's been bred out of our existence not to want it. This country could have been so successful, and I realized studying history, the crime of 1873 pulled everything away from the people of learning what wealth was. Over a long period of time, we're talking almost 170 years of manipulation. And this is why I had you black my face out. People think the Federal Reserve is a bank that the government owns. No, it's not the government. They gave it a nice little name, but it has nothing to do with it. It's privately owned. They're the ones that are causing the currency to be hyperinflated. This is the only way for the government to spend money. They don't make money. They don't have a business. They tax us. They all pay themselves a nice salary. How come a guy raises $20 million to get a $100,000 a year job? Somebody owns you, somebody that you're doing a favor for. And that's why we got all this crony capitalism anymore. We haven't seen capitalism in this country in over 45, 50 years. The banking system likes to do a thing where they drain the value out of everything, end up becoming the owner of everything. Basically, take all your hard work away. They do it slowly over time. Your hard labor builds house, bridges, business, whatever you build, they come in and they slowly bring their rates. Now, to understand a dollar, there's interest on a dollar. So you borrow a $1 bill, there's 10 cents interest on it. Well, where do you get that 10 cent interest from? You borrowed the dollar, the 10 cents doesn't exist. So now you gotta go borrow another dollar to get the 10 cents to pay the interest on the other dollar. So eventually this whole Ponzi scheme comes to a head and devaluates your money. That's why they pulled gold and silver out, is to devaluate your money. The banks are all about owning assets and making you hold the liabilities. Probably by the time you get this done, you won't find silver anywhere, or the premiums will be high. Probably won't find any gold, and the stock market will probably take a beating. If this isn't September, it'll happen shortly. You're gonna see cryptos take off even higher. Bitcoin will be higher. They're printing too much money. You can't print this kind of money and ignore it. So my advice is do your research. Don't take my word for anything. If you think I'm out of whack on something, go back and do it yourself. I don't remember dates and times and all that stuff, but I see patterns, and right now the pattern's telling me protect yourself, because there's going to be a wealth transfer like you've never seen in your life.